Some breaking news from Matt Gaetz. He has just sat down for his first interview since bowing out of the cabinet position for Attorney General. Pam Bondi's coming in. Pam Bondi, who's the Attorney General for the state of Florida. Here she is just a few nights before the election.
Well, I was a prosecutor. I was a homicide prosecutor for 18 years. I was Florida's first female Attorney General, and I was special advisor to Donald Trump, Office of White House Counsel, but most importantly, I'm his friend. And I was in that White House, and we all know he surrounded himself with a lot of brilliant women. How many women here tonight support Donald Trump? And backstage, look at these beautiful women sitting behind me. Sorry, guys, in the front row. Donald Trump, that was the greatest gift Mark Cuban could give Donald Trump, I think, by saying something so ignorant and stupid. So I have a message for Mark Cuban. From all of us here tonight, underestimate us. This is going to be fun.
Pam Bondi, of course, responding to those horrible statements from Mark Cuban, Shark Tank, Mark Cuban. He actually said that there are no intelligent women around Donald Trump. Obviously, Pam Bondi, who has been by his side for a long time, offering legal advice, etc., she was pretty offended, as you can see by that, as were many women. Kellyanne Conway, for example. I mean, think about his chief of staff now, who managed his campaign, Susie Wiles. She's a grandmother. She likes to bake, and wow, she's a total badass, because this woman who's running the campaign, you never see her, right? But she's pulling all the strings. He's got some really smart women around. Linda McMahon, WWE, self-made billionaire who created that amazing franchise. She's now going to be head of the Department of Education. I mean, there's a lot of women that are coming into really powerful positions. Think about Christie, right? Coming in it for Homeland Security. And Pam there as AG. It's pretty compelling. It's very amazing. And so, the whole idea that he's somehow sexist, that doesn't really fly. I think he's a big believer in meritocracy. And if you can do the job, then gosh darn it, you deserve the job. He doesn't care if you're male or female, black or white or purple for that matter. Anyway, Matt Gaetz, having run into a lot. I have some thoughts on that. I almost kind of wonder if some of this was even deliberate. But let's just listen to him. He just sat down moments ago with Charlie Kirk, and he had a few things to say about how this all unfolded.
So Matt, I now have to ask about just what your plans are, and it's okay if you have to, punt on it because you might not know. It's important to know you resigned from this Congress, not the next Congress. Our audience is 100% behind Matt Gaetz, by the way. They are very, very upset that you are not able to get all the way to Attorney General. I have to ask, what is next for Matt Gaetz?
Yeah, I'm still going to be in the fight, but it's going to be from a new perch. I do not intend to join the 119th Congress. There are a number of fantastic Floridians who've stepped up to run for my seat, people who have inspired with their heroism, with their public service. And I'm actually excited to see Northwest Florida go to new heights and have great representation. Charlie, I've been in an elected office for 14 years. I first got elected to the state house when I was 26 years old, and I'm 42 now. And I've got some other goals in life that I'm eager to pursue with my wife and my family. And so I'm going to be fighting for President Trump. I'm going to be doing whatever he asks of me, as I always have. But I think that 8 years is probably enough time in the United States Congress. In Florida, our voters got to vote on term limits for state government. And
so he's
the
saying he's
campaign was
done,
8
basically. I mean, that's the headline that came out of that interview, which is really interesting if you think about all this. Like, they had to have known, Donald Trump had to have known that this would be a really tall order, right? Like, this would be really, really hard to get through, because Matt Gaetz, love him, hate him, whatever you think of Matt Gaetz, let me just tell you, he's he's made some enemies along the way. And he has some personal behavior that, he denies this, et cetera. But there's some things that have come out that are not very beneficial to Matt Gaetz or, to the reputation of the United States of America if he were to be the AG. All right, let me just say that. But I think that Donald Trump knew that. And I think he always really liked Pam. I was kind of surprised Pam didn't get it to begin with. And I'm like, okay, was this the move all along? Like maybe you actually helped Matt in some weird way save face because they were going to come out with that report on him any which way you sliced it. So he got this elevation, but it was bound to be problematic. It was bound to create this kind of circus environment. So do you do that deliberately? Do you do that deliberately so that, maybe you figure out who your enemies are in the Senate? You know exactly who's going to vote against you. And there's 5 of them that weren't going to go along with any of this. There's this guy on TikTok who kind of, it was cute. He basically, he's on to my theory here about maybe it being some kind of bait and switch. Like we put one out there, we entertained the troops for a little while, but really all along we had every intention of putting Pam Bondi in the slot. Listen to him.
Trump done hit y'all with that bait and switch, baby. Baby, he done picked Pam Bondi as Attorney General. But Trump don't like women, right? Boy, I knew it was a bait and switch. I knew it was. See, what he wanted to do is find out who was going to daggone vote for his picks. He wanted to see his Senate loyalty. So what y'all gonna do, deny a woman now? Y'all know y'all love identity politics. Baby, Pam Bondi about to be, would that be the first woman Attorney General? Wow, this is crazy. And he did it so quick. He just changed the news cycle just like that. Baby, she's qualified. Won't she the Attorney General in Florida? Baby, he's bringing his whole Florida crew out here, boy. Baby, they coming for that ass. Let's go, Trump. Let's do this. Let's do this. Baby,
anyway, so, if there was a method to the madness, it was like, let me just throw this out there and see what happens. And we'll know exactly who's with me, who's against me, and we'll go from there, right? I mean, there tends to be, ultimately, I would say with him, some, I wouldn't say that he's like sitting there calculating it all out in his head ahead of time, but he's got incredibly good instincts. And it's entirely possible that he's like, all right, Matt's going to go anyway. Let's go out with a bang and let's just see what happens. And, a lot happened. By the way, he makes everybody else look terrific, right? Like you put Matt Gaetz out there and all of a sudden the other appointments, they feel like they're easy peasy. Well, maybe not Pete Hegseth. Pete's got a whole other thing going on, and that police report came out. He's denying it, but there's a lot there that I think is going to actually stand in the way of him actually getting the position there as Secretary of Defense. Look, anything could happen. We'll see. Quick shout out for one of our sponsors here on the show, Balance in Nature. Balance in Nature. I take my fruits and veggies every single day. I encourage you to do the same. 1-800-246-8751. 1-800-246-8751. Fruits and veggies. Just use code word Trish because you get 50% off right now, which is actually the best deal I think I've ever seen for balanceinnature.com. You also get free shipping. So take advantage of it. Take advantage. I take my fruits and veggies every day. They've got lots of different stuff for you, but I'm somebody who needs that multivitamin, and I need to make sure I get my vitamin D level up, especially like at a time of year like this. So I encourage you to go over to balanceofnature.com and take a peek.